Welcome back, freedom fighters. If you're watching our videos for the first time, I'm Billy Wilson, president of the Iowa Firearms Coalition, and this is our short weekly message to keep Iowans up to date on 2A news, events, and legislative happening in Iowa and throughout our nation. I apologize for the last 2 week absence of our weekly message with family vacation in northwestern Montana and bringing the niece and nephews back. It was really busy, but this week, this is the week to get back into it because we have huge news, crazy news going on in the 2A realm. We've got major Second Amendment news this week. Federal judge in Texas ruled that key national firearms registration and approval requirements for suppressors, short barrel rifles, and short barrel shotguns can no longer stand after Congress zeroed out the associated taxes. So when they removed the tax stamp, the tidal wave started. The Department of Justice did not seek a stay or appeal in time, so the injunction is now in effect for the covered parties and their members and customers. This is the biggest hit the NFA has taken in its 92-year history. It's time to finish the job and abolish the NFA. So this was backed by the GOA, the Gun Owners of America. So the National Firearms Act of 1934 is a U.S. federal law that regulates the manufacture, transfer, and registration of specific specialized firearms and accessories, such as machine guns, short barrel rifles, and shotguns and suppressors. So when they lost that case and had a chance to appeal or stay, they did not seek that. So when that at 12:01 on that day, it effectively resulted in the federal deregulation of silencers, short barrel rifles, and short barrel shotguns, removing the century-old federal background check and registration mandates for these items. That's huge. And then just today, I was reading some articles where the DOJ and the president have come out and said they will back getting rid of the NFA Act. So that's huge if that's what comes to fruition. So right now, it is a gray area. That's federal regulation. So if they deregulate it federally, that means it's open, but you still have to abide by your state regulations. So what does that mean for Iowa? That means this year we're going to need your help this coming year for legislative session to remind our legislative representatives to align our Iowa code with our federal regulations and remove the offensive weapons section from Iowa code. Right now, it says it's deregulated, but technically in Iowa, you could get in trouble still. There's just a gray area there of attempting to do that because our state does not align with the federal deregulation. Now, technically in that code or in that law, the GOA, if you remember the GOA, you're covered under that. And we have local companies that are abiding by it and doing that. I know Battlehawk Armory on Monday, 10 to 6, they're doing it. Deregulated, so you can go in there, buy a suppressor, short barrel rifle, and walk out with it that day. Now you still have to do your 44 7-3 form unless you have a concealed weapons permit, carry permit, or your permit to purchase. So that still pertains to it, but you're not going to have to fill out the NFA, send it to the ATF, and wait for them to come back and approve it or not. So that is huge. You're not in the registry anymore. Now, some have asked, so that means we can buy machine guns? No. And machine guns are actually covered under a different act as well that have specific regulations and requirements to purchase that said machine gun. But specifically, suppressors, short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, this is huge for the United States, huge for the Second Amendment community and Iowans. So be ready when we get fired up to send action alerts asking you to email your legislative representatives and telling them, grow a spine, push this through, and remove the offensive weapons section in Iowa code. If it doesn't happen next year, we have serious issues with our legislative representatives. That being said, quick shout out. We have our last Warrior Wednesday with Michael Ware and governor candidate Zach Lane, who says that he stands by the Second Amendment and will defend it vigorously. Will he truly stand by his word? First, he has to win the election, but we have optimism. So if we have that optimism, hopefully our legislative representatives will grow a spine, stand up, and finally do what we elected them to do, and it's to support us and defend our Second Amendment rights. Be sure to read our important blog post for more context. First, there's one, what does the Texas NFA decision mean for you? It breaks down the scope of the injunction, who is covered, what the ruling does and does not change, and practical next steps for gun owners. Second, check out the personal story from the NRA Whittington Center 2026 Adventure Camp, a firsthand account from a young Iowa shooter about the skills, leadership lessons, friendships, and unforgettable experiences at one of the best youth camps in the country. Both are up on our website. And to hear her accurate long-range shots with the 50 cal, you don't want to miss it. Read the blog, check it out, find out other ways to help support our use in the Second Amendment rights. Also worth reading is the Bearing Arms piece explaining why Iowa is suddenly a Second Amendment battleground state. Stay engaged. Elections do truly matter. All this will come out tomorrow in our President's Weekly Bulletin email. Gun Owners of America and Gun Owners Foundation continue pressing forward, including their lawsuit against the U.S. Virgin Islands for denying non-residents any practical way to exercise their Second Amendment rights while visiting. What else is going on there? Tickets are still available for the 2027 2A Day for the IFC packed dinner featuring the one and only Nick Freitas. These are selling out fast, so get yours now. If you don't have one now, why? You don't support the Second Amendment? Are you an American? Are you an Iowan? Get your ticket. Get it now. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing. Other events. We have a trap shoot, the Zagazig Shrine. This is where we typically have our IFC packed dinner. On Saturday, September 19th, the Sportsman's Unit is hosting a trap shoot hosted by the Marshall County Shrine Club. Check it out. It's $25 for 50 birds. There's going to be raffle prizes. What else is there? Beverages are provided on a free will donation. You don't want to miss watching our weekly bulletin. I'll have the flyer out there to who to get a hold of. Tim Kelly, Paul Freeman. Stay tuned, but check that out in our email, or email them if you have any questions for the trap shoot. It's going to be a great time. Go out and exercise your Second Amendment right, and anything the Shriners do is for a great cause. So guns, great cause. You got to like it. Shriners for kids, guns. It's amazing. This week's Trusted Partner Spotlight goes to Tapos Gunsmithing. Tapos Gunsmithing was created by Alex Christensen out of a love for firearms and the outdoors. They more than understand the imperative right and need to preserve our freedoms, our freedoms, including the right to keep and bear arms. All other rights are protected through access to arms for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. IFC members receive free transfers, one free basic cleaning annually, and 10% off all services. Support a business that stands with us. One free annual cleaning. Now, you should be cleaning your weapons a lot more, but why not? Go in, get a free cleaning, see if there's something else that you can do to grow in your Second Amendment arsenal. As always, we want to hear from you. Ideas for Warrior Wednesday guests, trusted partners, memes, keep those coming, and anything else. Drop us a line at info@iowafc.org. Freedom Fighters, thank you for standing with us. This has been a huge week. Watch this tidal wave that started with the Supreme Court Bruins decision, and then now just the dominoes are falling. So pay attention as this grows. Our legislative representatives will have no other excuse but to stand up and defend us on our Second Amendment rights. Stay engaged, stay active, and keep defending our rights. And as always, God bless. Happy Sunday.